It's 2025. We've got some targets and we have a battle ahead of us. And we are going to talk about the first battle you have to achieve or win to succeed. And that is battleground search results. Let's go. Hey, let's take a quick second to do a little side note. If you're getting value from this podcast, it would mean a lot to us if you could subscribe wherever you're listening. So let's make this our gentleman's agreement. If you're getting value, we'd love it if you could just click subscribe, potentially the bell button, and make our day. Cheers. So we are going to kick off with a cool topic that is going to help you crush it this year. It's battleground search results. Zamir, let's unpack that.
Okay, fine. So search results page, that is the battleground. That is where we want to work to make sure someone clicks on our product instead of a competitor's product. And we have 7 criteria, sometimes 8 or 9, but mainly 7 criteria for which to battle it out. You remember what those are, Ali? Am I testing you? You ready?
All right, you are definitely testing me. All right, so you are going to have, these are the 7 factors that influence what if people are likely to click on your results, right? So
yes,
obviously price is an important one.
Number 1.
You're going to have reviews.
Number 2.
Your delivery
It's
promise.
also number 3. Reviews and ratings.
Well, reviews and ratings, right?
Yeah.
Reviews and ratings. Your delivery promise.
Delivery promise, yes.
Your title.
Yes.
And the next 2,
promotion.
Promotion, yes. Promotion. And the most important one, I intentionally left this to last, the image.
The image, absolutely. And why is it the most important, Ali?
Okay, so we process images way faster than we process words and with way more efficiency. What's the stat behind it, Zamir?
The stat that's often thrown out is that the human brain processes images 50 to 60 times faster than words.
I think that's logical. It makes sense. And so as you're scanning through a search results page, the first thing you're going to be really scanning are the pictures before you even look at any other information, right? You may filter by price, you may filter by review score or ratings, but the thing that you're really going to be scanning through are the images as they come up.
Yeah, and it's the biggest, it takes up the most space. If you think about a search results box, right, the image takes up the most space. So in a lot of ways, it gets more real estate than anything else. Look, the image is all about communicating as much key information as possible. And it's not just about simply having a great image. I think a lot of people work on getting a great looking image, and that is so important. And to me, all those terms of service that Amazon has in there, the fact that it has to occupy 80% of the image window, the fact it has to be on a white background, it can't include anything that's not shipped with the product, right? Those are all kind of like where a lot of people start and finish there. But really, what you want to do is kind of go the extra mile on it. It's really about communicating as much key information as possible through that primary image.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's a little, I guess there's an insider hack that we probably can give away some of the secret sauce on this. But realistically, what you are doing is you may look at boosting, at least digitally anyway, some of your key USPs that someone in the search results page, most often on someone's phone, and they're not going to have too much space to view things, is going to be able to go, right, this has the key USPs that I'm looking for. Even if I don't scan the title yet, I can see those key flashes there.
Yeah, and we've seen some really interesting examples, I'd say, this year, and it's worth kind of pointing a few of them out. Like you said, digitally altering the packaging itself, the box, putting messages on there. I really like the tags. Have you seen those? Like, they're kind of like hang tags that people stick on there with like a key bit of information that's sitting on a digitally rendered hang tag. That's a really cool one.
Yeah, exactly. I think we should be important to kind of to flag up. What we're saying, these digitally enhanced bits, what we're saying is on the actual product itself, right? So not separate to the product. So don't have these flashes kind of sticking out in the white space where the white space should be. Amazon will penalize you if you do that. You may not get the listing up or the image up, but you may get search suppressed if you do that. What we're talking about is if you've got a really nice aesthetic label and it looks really good, when you're holding it in real life, great. If you imagine someone scrolling past really quickly, they don't have time to look through all that information. So you want to have those key bits that they're really going to be looking for. Let's say it's protein powder. how many grams of protein is in the package or per serving is there, or how many servings are there. Make that a little bit digitally larger. Still looks nice, but larger so that someone scanning quickly can read and understand it.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point, right? So check it out. Look at it on desktop, but also look at it on mobile. Make sure it really stands out. One of the ones I really like is including search terms as well. If someone's searched under a key search term and they see that in the image, it kind of resonates with them and pulls them in a bit. So having some search terms in there that are relevant, really cool, really works.
Part of that as well is Amazon, as far as we know, or as far as I am aware, doesn't scan the images, and we kind of debated this ourselves, whether Amazon actually reads the images when it starts to serve up results. I think it's mainly based on the titles and the copy within the listing, not so much the words that are on there, but this is more for the human, right? In that battleground, as we're talking about, you're going to see, unlike say on a website where you control the ecosystem and it's only your products there, the battleground and your first big challenge after the searches come up is having someone click on your product. And what we're really saying is the most important part of that, or one of the key parts of that, is the image. Having a really well-structured primary image is going to influence the rest of the consideration. Because I think once you see a primary image you like, you're more likely to scan the title, the price, the reviews, and the other factors we talked about.
Yeah, and standing out is really important. One of the things I know from you have to be really familiar with your search results page as well for your main search terms. You want to know who you're coming up against. I remember one of the things that I used to do with my speakers, I had a range of colors. So we had like a black, a red, and a white speaker. Black by far sold the most. But when you typed in Bluetooth speaker on Amazon, all the speakers that came up were black. So I purposefully would advertise the red speaker, not because it's the one that converted the most. It's the one that it just stood out. That red speaker stood out against all that black. People would click on it, get to the product details page, they'd buy the black one. But it really got me the click. And at that point you made there, getting the click is really key. That's the battleground. That's where we want to fight it. We want to do whatever we have to get that click.
Yes, agreed. What else?
I think one of the other bits that I've seen recently is kind of using a wide angle, sort of like a fisheye lens that makes the product really feel like it's stepping out of the page. It's almost looking at it from the bottom up, and it really has more presence on that search results page. And finally, I'm taking up as much of the space as possible. And again, a lot of people don't necessarily realize this, but if you put your borders too short, then Amazon fills in with white space above and below it, sometimes to the side. Look at how your product's appearing. Make sure it's filling up and taking up as much space as possible.
Max out all the space they got available for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But I think also it's worth pointing out that this can't be just looked in isolation, right? All those other attributes we talked about at the beginning, the delivery promise, that needs to be on, right? So it doesn't matter how good your image is looking. Ultimately, if you don't have a Prime badge and everyone else does, you're probably not going to get the click, right?
Well, not even that. You might get filtered out completely, because if you imagine how most people shop, they're going to say, I want Prime only results. So they just tick that box. Only the Prime results are going to come up, and you won't even get that visibility in the first place. So you don't even enter the battlefield. You're instantly out.
But if you've got a really strong image, then that helps to communicate. And especially if your product is a premium one, really helps to communicate that. And it's almost essential, because ultimately we've proven numerous times price isn't a major factor on Amazon. So you can charge a premium price. You surely need to make sure that your product communicates that premium level. And so getting that image right on all these points we just discussed is really key.
Yeah, agreed. And that's similar to the point we often make around how the Amazon shopper is really a convenience shopper, right? So they want Prime, but so have Prime, fundamental, really important. But then when you get to the actual results page, it's that image that's going to come back to. And then that ties into the other fact that we talked about, which is promotion and price. You might be willing to pay a premium or pay slightly more if you know you're going to get it sooner, tick. But then if everyone's doing that and your price is there, that's what you're really competing on. That's where that image to convey quality over or value over the rest of it.
Yeah, I think it's also worth pointing out some of those attributes are easier to control than others. FBA, for example, that's an easier one to control. The image, that's within your control. Reviews and ratings slightly less in your control, right? That's something you have to build up. So whether it's the number of of reviews that you're building or the rating score, if either of those two are slightly lower than your competition, then you definitely need that image to be doing more of the heavy lifting for you. So it becomes even more important that it's communicating that confidence and getting that engagement from the audience.
Yes, absolutely.
So look, we know that there's like 100, 200 criteria that influence the actual algorithm itself, but there's only 7 odd criteria that influence a consumer. And that's what we're talking about. And out of those 7 criteria, there are a handful that are slightly beyond our control, but there are some that are clearly there. The one that we've really picked up on here is the image, and it's probably the one that is probably most lacking in most cases. It's an area that a lot of people could probably put more attention into. I highly recommend that you go through and look at products, look at images that really stand out to you. Look what they've done. Look at the techniques they've used and kind of lean into that. See what you can do to influence and improve your images, because it really does make a massive difference.
Awesome. So thanks, guys. This is going to be an epic year, guys. We are so pumped to be on this journey with you. So hopefully drop some comments for your goals and targets for the year in the comment section, and let's crush it. All right, Zamir, question for today. What's the difference between ketchup and a smoothie?
Seriously? What's the difference between ketchup and a smoothie?
Yeah, or mayonnaise.
One you drink, the other you dip in.
We're going back to chip or dip. All right.
Yeah. Okay, fine. There's my answer. Locked and loaded.